What's going on, champions? Welcome back to Sats and Success. Hey, before we get into today's content, do me a huge favor if you would. Please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel and turn on all your bell notifications so you can be notified when all the content drops. All right? Now, with that out of the way, let's get into today's content. Now, what I originally had planned for today, I had to pivot. Good Lord downloaded something totally different to my spirit, and I had to pivot because this is time sensitive, especially with the Bitcoin price moving up. If you know anything about Bitcoin in a bull run, it tends to have these consolidation periods, and we've been consolidating for about 30 days before this violent upswing. And I believe that's what's about to happen. I hope that I'm wrong and we actually get a swing downward. It would give some of you who are not into Bitcoin yet a better entry point. It would give us, those of us who are into Bitcoin, a better opportunity to stack sats at a cheaper price. Really hope and pray that happens. Don't think that it will. So ride with me for a moment. We're going to get in this car and we're going to cruise down the good old highway of life. Now at point A is us in our younger years. Point B is us when it's time for us to hang it up and retire. Now here in the good old US of A, this is what we've been sold. This is what we've been told. These are the directions, the instructions that we've been given to get from point A to point B. Go get a good education or trade. Go work for a good company and make sure you put money away in a 401k, IRA, or a pension. All right. That way, when you're ready to hang it up, you can go ahead and ride off into the sunset and enjoy the fruits of your labor. That's what we've been sold, right? Go get an education, go get a trade, go work for a company for 30, 40 years. Make sure you put money away in a 401k, IRA, pension, and that money will be there for you when you need it to retire from, so you can draw from in your golden years. All right? Now, the problem with what we've been sold is that is coming to an end. All right? For the baby boomers, for that generation, that still works. And it still works because they'll be able to supplement their income with Social Security. And I believe that Gen X, I'm a Gen Xer, I believe that Social Security will be around for me. So what we've been sold, what we've been told, it'll work obviously for the baby boomers, it'll work for the Gen Xers, but for the millennials and Gen Zs, there is no way on God's green earth that Social Security is going to be around. And the tragedy is you'll be paying into a system that you won't even be able to benefit from. And here's why. Our government has been fiscally irresponsible for a very long time. There is no word to describe how bad our government has mismanaged money. Our government is no better at managing money than the average Joe. And us, the taxpayers, many of us, we're the ones that's going to be paying for it. We are paying for it right now, okay? And so that old rail, that old highway, that's not the path to get you from point A to point B anymore. There's a new highway over here that's been built, all right? And to get over to that highway, there's a detour, and Bitcoin is that detour. Bitcoin is the detour to get you off the old highway, all right, that no longer functions correctly, and get you onto the new highway. So let me explain, let me wrap this up for you and break this down. So what tends to happen is when it's time for us to retire, we've put away money in a 401k, IRA, or we have some type of pension plan. Those are older plans, okay? Companies today have 401ks. And when we retire, we want to be able to withdraw from that money to live on, to enjoy the fruits of our labor, right? The reason why that still works today, especially for the baby boomers, and again, hopefully for the Gen Xers, is because we'll be able to supplement that income with Social Security benefits. Say it again. The reason it works today is because we'll be able to supplement the money that we work for and put away. We can supplement it with Social Security benefits. But with our country being so fiscally irresponsible and running up a debt over $37 trillion, it's going to be hard for the millennials and Gen Zers to supplement their income with Social Security, because I just don't think it's going to be around. I just don't think it's going to be around. Our government has to print money just to sustain itself, just to pay Medicaid and Medicare, just to pay for defense spending. Heck, pay for Social Security. We are printing so much money, and we are about to print a crap ton of money. And you know what happens when you print money? Inflation goes up. Inflation is hard to wrap your head around. Trust me, it took me a while to understand. Hey, prices keep going up. No, their purchasing power continues to get eroded. All right, the more they print money, the more they debase the currency, it erodes the purchasing power that you have. All right, a dollar is not a dollar anymore. It's more like 70 cents. All right, and you got to really understand that. And so let's take a person who has worked their entire life, saved up $500,000, and now they want to draw from that to fund their lifestyle, to be able to travel and do all the things that they dreamed of doing. Now, the rule of thumb is to withdraw 4% annually. So if you've saved up $500,000 and you withdraw 4% annually, that would be $20,000. Yeah, $20,000. Now, you break that down monthly, that's a little over $16,000, if my math is correct. Drop a comment below if my math isn't correct. It's a little over about $1,650, somewhere around there, $1,660. Now, here's the problem with that. When you start withdrawing from your plan, your retirement plan, that's when you get taxed. You don't get taxed on the front end. It grows tax deferred as you're putting money into these plans. But the moment you start withdrawing from it, that's when you get taxed. So that $1,660 that you're getting monthly to live off of, it's not $1,660. It's more like $1,400 a month. Now, if you're able to supplement that with Social Security, you're fine, depending on your lifestyle. Listen, none of this matters if you are a person that's going to sit on your couch, eat popcorn, and watch Netflix for the rest of your life once you retire. None of this really matters, all right? You're going to have a very simple, easy lifestyle. But if you want to get out and do things, travel, see the world, go to concerts and things of that nature, it's going to take some money to do that, okay? And this old highway, the old instructions that we've been sold and told, that's not going to get you from point A to point B, all right? Bitcoin is the detour. Bitcoin is the detour. So you have to understand this. Please do not miss what I'm about to say. There is a financial reset that is taking place right now. Right now. And it's actually been taking place. All right? And people are starting to see it because Coinbase is putting out some commercials that it's right in your face. And if it doesn't make you pause, reflect, and check what you're doing and how you're doing, man, I don't know. I don't have any words to express what's going to happen. But they got this new commercial out, and it's pretty slick. But it shows his house is actually being lifted up, and the house says this is 2012, and this house cost 30,000 Bitcoin to purchase. And then it says a decade later, it cost 20 Bitcoin to purchase this same house. Today, 5 Bitcoin will purchase that same house. And it says if the home prices keep falling in Bitcoin, why does it keep rising in dollars? And that's the inflation factor. Our government has to go to YouTube. Go to YouTube and type in Jerome Powell prints money. And you have the Federal Reserve Chairman of the United States of America on 60 Minutes telling the entire audience, whoever watching that day, that they print money. They print money out of thin air. And so we go to work and we give our time, our energy, our effort to get paid back in a currency that's being debased. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. And so people are saving their money. People are putting away fiat currency, which is being debased. It doesn't stretch as far anymore. And that's why you have to get off the old highway, okay? Because that old highway that we're traveling down will get you broke slow. That old highway will get you broke slow. The detour, the reroute, Bitcoin will allow you to preserve your purchasing power and live your life to the fullest, the way you deserve to live your life. Bitcoin is at 109,000 right now. I'm telling you, Bitcoin is going to 200,000 real quick, fast, and in a hurry. Then it's going to 500,000, and then Bitcoin is going to $1 million. Call me crazy. I know this. I know this. I have conviction, deep conviction about this. I don't know when people, there's these predictions that Bitcoin is going to be at $1 million by 2030, by 2031. All I know is this: as long as our government continues to print money, Bitcoin will hit $1 million. The only way it doesn't hit $1 million is if our government stops printing money, and they can't stop printing money because we stop printing money, bills don't get paid. Medicaid doesn't get paid. Medicare doesn't get paid. We can't defense spending. Social Security don't get paid. We have to print money to pay our bills. We have to. We have to. Okay? So my question to you is, why would you save? Why would you save your time, your energy, your value in a currency that's being diluted? If we were in a restaurant and you ordered a Coca-Cola, all right, and the waitress came out and started pouring water in your Coca-Cola so much that it's diluted, and I ask you, why are you not drinking your Coca-Cola? You're going to look at me crazy and say, because she just diluted it with water. I'm not drinking that. So the same way you wouldn't drink that Coca-Cola is the same reason why you should not be saving your money, actually not your money, but your time, energy, and effort in a currency that's being debased, that's being diluted. This is not financial advice. This is what I do. And I'm just trying to give you some insight because I want you to stop and take the time to understand about this technology called Bitcoin and the blockchain technology. Because it's not the future, it's the now. It is here right now, and the stuff that's being built on this technology, it is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. And you gotta do the homework for yourself, because, and this is the reason you have to do the homework for yourself. There's like 95% of people that have not adopted this technology. And that tells me that a lot of people don't understand it. We shy away from, we tend not to spend time on things or fear things that we don't understand. People don't understand Bitcoin. They don't understand the blockchain technology. And that's why it's not being adopted by the masses, by the little folks, us. Bitcoin was created for us. Bitcoin was created to get us off that old, antiquated, broken highway and onto this newly paved highway where we can have financial security. We can have financial sovereignty. We can have financial success against a government that continues to debase our money and inflate everything. Here soon, that same house is going to cost you 1 Bitcoin. One. When Bitcoin hits 500,000, and I'm telling you, that's much sooner than you think. That's going to be able to buy you everything against Bitcoin. When you measure and you look at things in terms of Bitcoin, everything gets cheaper. It does. Everything against Bitcoin gets cheaper. It just does. Bitcoin gets cheaper. So take the time, do your homework, understand what this new technology is, what it's about, what it can do for you, because here's the thing. A lot of people right now don't even realize they have exposure to Bitcoin. And I'll get into that in another video. But a lot of people right now, whether you know it or not, in your 401k, in your pension, in your ETF fund, you got exposure to Bitcoin. Okay? So take the time, take the energy, and make sure that you do your homework and understand what's at stake. The great financial reset is here. It is here. It's not happening next year. It's not happening in a few months. It is here, and it is happening right before your very eyes. There's a lot of stuff that's going on, and it's all strategy. What we're doing here in the United States, unlike a lot of other countries whose currencies just actually collapse, which is the worst thing that you could ever have happen, we're actually controlling the collapse of the dollar. The dollar is done. It's zombie money, as my man Bitcoin Block would say. It's zombie money. It's dead. It's been dead. If you understand, all good things come to an end, and we are at the tail end of this fiat currency experiment. If you look back in history, every fiat currency ever in existence has always failed. So we know that the dollar is going to fail. So we have two options. We can just let it collapse, which again would be catastrophic for all world dollars, or we can control the collapse, usher in this new monetary system, and that's exactly what we're doing. So you have to understand what's taking place. We are so early in this technology, but you have to act now, okay, so that you can get onto the new highway. Bitcoin is the detour. It is the detour. It is the reroute. All right? So do your homework and make sure that you are ready for what is happening. It's not happening tomorrow. It's not happening next week. It is actually happening right now. Be blessed, champions. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this information because we all need to make sure we have access to it. And I'll see you in the next one.